The day that we were leaving for Provence, I had not seen any news yet. And you know, when you go up in the hills like I have, there's always evacuations. Like in Malibu, Beverly Hills, Bel Air, literally my whole life. I had no idea the magnitude of what was going on.
The day I'm supposed to leave, I get 2 phone calls on my phone saying mandatory evacuations. David's sitting there, he's looking out the front of the house, he's going, I only see blue skies. I go, well, look at the back. You could see the smoke coming up over Canaan. The fire was moving so quickly. The winds were 65, 70 miles an hour, and flames shooting up over the canyons. We were in the line of fire. Cops come up the street, mandatory evacuations, please leave your home now. Oh my God, it's happening. This, you know, we're right in the zone. So we're trying to get things that we can fit in the car. And I'm like, please take this art, please. There's a Martin, it's very expensive, it's valuable to me. And he's like, I can't fit it in the car. Thank God I had some clothes that I had packed for my trip to Europe with the girls. My daughter didn't have anything. We called down the coast trying to find hotels and places to stay. Everything was booked. So we found a beautiful place, the Grand Del Mar. So they got us a room. I went down there with my daughter, my husband. That night, I'm on the phone with Lisa Vanderpump, a very good friend of her, Robert Kovacic, who was on the scene, on the ground, reporting about my house. And he's calling and texting Lisa, is this Camille's home? So Lisa and I get off the phone. She gets the picture and she said, yes, that is Camille's house.
I think I actually told her it was burning because one of my best friends is a news reporter who he kind of told me, but that's tragic in itself. And I'm not talking about financially, but just to lose everything, your history, your life, every wonderful thing. Of course we can all start again, but it's a shame that we have to.
It was surreal. That moment was so surreal to me and Mason. And I'm going, how do I get through this? How much can one person take? You know, I've said to God, okay, you've tested me on so many levels. What lesson do I need to learn now? What is this about? And, you know, I'm still processing it all to this day.
Camille is a warrior. She's a survivor. She's a very strong woman. But just to see your house go up in flames on TV,
Well,
that's a lot.
This is the struggle I have because, you know, I watch Camille treating me or talking about me a certain way or doing these things, and I have got such a profound respect for her and admiration, really, for all that she's been through and how she's come out. I do respect her for that part.
As much as you have back and forth the drama with a woman, her house burned down. I mean, that sucks.
Yeah.
I felt a little bit like we're having a good time, and they're really, I mean, it's real life back in Los Angeles.
So Lisa Rinna, Erika and I, we dormed basically at the very, very top
Of
floor.
the chateau.
While Kyle and Teddi were in their plush, you know, the
Master
actual
suite.
Yes, the manor.
Beautiful.
Oh my gosh.
Cozy. This is what I'm supposed to be living like. Don't you understand what I've been trying to tell you?
They had a whole floor,
Yes.
2 suites,
Yes.
separated by a fireplace.
Yes,
or
a
some
whole lounge.
like a
library.
A
Even at-
salon.
honestly, they even had things to read.
And then we stayed in the attic.
Yeah.
Which
Yes.
was a glamorous attic.
I'm telling you.
But I'm telling you, we walked up 6 flights.
We had to climb to get there. No elevators in the 1600s.
No.
We're talking about climb.
No, climbing. These little tiny circular.
Tiny little stairs.
Tiny little stairs. And I just had knee surgery, so I'm going to complain.
Yes.
I'm going to complain because
Yes.
I was in pain in France. We walked up 6 flights, and we were in the ceiling.
Heaven forbid you forget your scarf, okay? Because the weather was not warm.
And the text, be down here in 5.
Yeah, okay, well, it's gonna take me 6 just to get down if I leave now.
Right, screaming out the window, hey, are we leaving now? Like, yes, get your ass down here.
Yes.
Okay.
Oh my God.
My ass was so high by the time I left France, it was amazing.
We were in good shape.
We were in good shape.
left.
Well, Kyle and Teddi, how did they score this, the Master
Well, it was
Suite?
Kyle's trip.
was
She
Kyle's
chose
trip,
Teddi to be her best friend and have the best place.
Exactly, basically. In a nutshell.
Okay, well that's.
Am I right?
Absolutely.
And they know it, so it's
Yes.
not a beef.
No.
It's not a beef.
It's 100% that.
You at some point opened up to the ladies about having a eating disorder.
I feel really weird even saying it now, because I've never ever talked about this. Not even to my daughters, which is why I'm staying quiet, because I feel weird. But when I was younger, I had my own problems. I never talked about my eating disorder because I'm not saying this is the right choice, but I have 4 daughters, and I just was so terrified that they would ever have one. I didn't even want them to have that in their head. And sitting in that moment with Lisa Rinna, and they were talking about Amelia, and they were talking about all these things that I knew and had experienced, and I felt like a fraud sitting there listening to all this and being like, oh, really? Oh, like it's so, I don't know about this. And the fact that I had not told my daughters at first, I got nervous, but I thought it felt like the right thing to do. And then afterwards, I was like, oh gosh, well, now I need to have a conversation. I'm always gonna be a person who, I'm very structured with my eating, very. I can really feel it in my mood if I don't eat well and don't exercise, and it'll probably always be with me. I will never, go to the lengths that I did before, but it's a personality type, honestly. It's a form also of control too, because there was a lot of chaos when I was a kid at times, and I think that was my way of, having control of something. I grew up in front of the camera as a child actor, and my sisters were always skinny and, blonde, and I was curvy and, brunette, and so I struggled with that. It started when I was 17.
Oh my God.
I was 99 pounds. It was like that for years. I mean, I can remember times when I'm only gonna have 6 almonds today. That's what I'm gonna have. All day. But I was very self-conscious. Thankfully, I, worked through that, and I'm fine now, but
I think it's important that Kyle was able to share it. I think it's important that Amelia's talked about it. I think it's important that I've talked about it, because I think it's a problem that so many people struggle with. There's a large group of people that are struggling silently. The most important thing is to be vulnerable with it and to share it, because that's how I personally get better.
I am the same way about my anxiety.
Yeah.
For me, I talk about my anxiety because it makes me feel better. So I make jokes about it and I share with people in order to feel better. But I had never discussed the eating disorder until then. So
Yeah, and it's one of those things. I mean, for me, that's also how I felt about like having miscarriages or struggling with getting pregnant. Anything that we can share with each other as friends.
it's private that you.
That's private is how you actually really heal yourself.
So Kyle and Teddi asked you about Lisa Rinna's impression at Farroween.
Yes, they were pressing me on, should I have been offended that Lisa Rinna dressed up as Erika Jane for Halloween, and the way that she chose to portray Erika Jane and what she was saying and what she was doing? And I was like, no, I think it's fine. But that
Wasn't good enough.
wasn't good. Right, thank you. However uncomfortable it may have been for all of us to watch.
Which it was. That's all we're saying. Was it not a little uncomfortable for you?
No, it wasn't for me, but it was for you guys. I get that. Ladies, let me be very clear. I'm not annoyed that Lisa Rinna used the Erika Jane persona to heal her wounds with Kim Richards. I am, however, becoming annoyed at how you two will not let it go. That wasn't good enough. And, if someone, dressed up as them, they would be offended. And I said, well, I'm not.
Right.
It's not my place to be offended.
Did you have a sense of why they thought you should be offended? Was that?
I don't understand. I didn't understand it then, and I don't understand it now. It was just, I thought it was great. Lisa dressed up as Erika Jane for Halloween. It was hilarious. We laughed our asses off. I'm not responsible for anyone's
Right.
costume
Well, that's the whole
or
thing.
how they act, and so it was a little silly.
It was.
Thanks for watching. Click right here to subscribe to the Bravo channel.
And click here to watch more videos from the Real Housewives of Beverly Hills.